Welcome to our channel. Today, we are not just talking about making a little extra pocket change to buy a fancy coffee. We are talking about a complete 15-step tactical overhaul of your life to go from $0 to $100,000 in exactly 1 year. Most people treat business like a lottery, but it is actually a predictable progression through 3 distinct stages. First is the startup phase, where you clear the fog and find your direction. Then you enter the turbulent exploration phase, where you fail your way forward through trial and error until you find what works. Finally, you reach the takeoff phase, where you package your mature processes for stable, scalable growth. We are targeting $100,000 because that is the threshold where you stop being a manual laborer and start being a system builder. Once you hit 6 figures, you have proven the underlying business logic and have the capital to scale from 1 to 10. Step 1 is the ultimate commitment. For the next 12 months, your life is going into a temporary holding pattern where your primary focus is fixed on that one goal, and everything else is pushed to the back of the line. Any activity that does not directly contribute to increasing your income, sharpening your skills, or maintaining your basic health is officially a distraction. You are in accumulation mode, gathering chips and energy for the fight ahead. This might mean taking jobs that feel beneath you or aren't very glamorous just to pay the bills while you grind. You might have to live far below your actual means and work in an environment you don't even like just to free up every spare second for your side venture. It will be uncomfortable, you will be ignored, and you will definitely feel the sting of rejection and mockery. But that constant sense of awkwardness is just the price of leaving your current reality. To make it real, open a notebook and write on the first page, by the 31st of December 2026, I will consistently earn $10,000 per month. Step 2 is about building a dynamic learning system that treats information like ammunition. Forget just-in-case learning where you study things you might need in 5 years. You need just-in-time learning based on your current practical state. If your understanding of how wealth is created is still a blurry mess, focus on the big picture and the strategic blueprint of business. Once you have that map and start moving, switch modes immediately. The moment you hit a specific wall, that is when you go looking for the specific article, video, or book that solves that exact problem. Your brain should only be a warehouse for actionable experience that produces value right now, not a graveyard for useless trivia. When you take notes, treat it like you are cramming for a final exam that determines your entire future, turning every piece of advice into a checklist you can execute before the sun goes down. Step 3 requires a brutal inventory of what you can actually do with your own 2 hands. List every piece of hardware you own, from your laptop to your smartphone to that camera gathering dust in the corner. Then, list every software and physical skill you possess, whether it is image editing, video production, graphic design, or even operating a drone. From that list, pick one core skill that you can turn into cash every single week. Ignore everything else for now. When choosing, pick a field where people are already desperate to pay, such as sales copywriting, ad management, video production, or process automation. Market value isn't equal across all skills, so choose based on actual returns, not just what feels fun. Once you have your weapon, stop watching tutorials and start imitating the pros. Tear apart successful industry results, figure out why they work, and rebuild them from scratch. Commit to at least 1 hour of high-intensity practice every single day, no matter how tired or uninspired you feel. Only through this high-intensity practice can a skill evolve from a hobby into a professional capability that brings in stable income. Step 4 is perhaps the hardest. Keep your mouth shut and your plans hidden. Most people in your life simply cannot comprehend the direction you are heading, and their advice usually comes from a path they never dared to walk themselves. Never take advice from someone you wouldn't want to trade lives with, because you are the only one who has to live with the consequences. You have to realize that the people closest to you might not actually want you to succeed, because your progress acts like a giant mirror reflecting their own stagnation. Instead of wasting energy arguing with friends or family, save your breath for the professional circles filled with strangers who see you for your future potential rather than your past mistakes. Be like a seed buried in the dirt. Keep your roots growing deep and stay quiet until you are strong enough to break through the surface. Step 5 is to invest in your own growth every single day by putting yourself where the money is actually moving. If your current environment was capable of making you rich, it would have already happened. You must actively change your surroundings, cutting out mindless entertainment and replacing it with industry workshops, professional gatherings, and environments where you can observe how people are creating real value. It's not just about what they say, but how they move and how they scale their results. When you have a little bit of a budget, don't waste it on a shiny, expensive course. Spend it on a coach or a mentor who can give you direct feedback and point out the blind spots that are stalling your growth. Direct feedback is the fastest way to turn knowledge into an actual paycheck. Step 6 is to stop being a charity and start targeting clients who actually have a budget. Do not waste your life trying to convince people who are broke to pay you. Instead, find the groups that are already in the habit of paying for professional services to solve their problems. Look for lawyers, accountants, local small businesses, real estate teams, or content creators who have fixed marketing budgets. Your proposal should be so simple a child could understand it. One sentence explaining the result you provide, followed by the delivery timeline and the price. For the next 90 days, focus on only one type of client to build deep expertise and a reputation in that niche. When picking clients, make sure they have the budget, an urgent need, and a result you can actually measure. Get your payment system ready immediately. Don't worry about your website's aesthetics or your business cards until you have a way to collect money. The core task of this stage is simply to complete transactions. Step 7 is the quest for proof. You need to earn your first dollar from a total stranger as fast as possible, even if you have to lose a little money up front to make it happen. The biggest barrier for most people is that they don't know what the market actually wants, and they are terrified to ask for money. Consider this initial phase your tuition. Even if you take a loss, finish the entire process from start to finish because the experience is the real asset. Record every hour you spend and every cent you invest so you can analyze the business from a bird's eye view. In negotiations, stay professional and focus entirely on the results you can deliver, not on who you are. Here is a hard rule: never sell to your friends or family. Once a stranger pays you and you deliver the goods, you have officially passed the first test. Step 8 is to turn your labor into a repeatable system. Every time you serve a client, record every step of the process and turn it into a case study or a piece of internal property. As you accumulate experience, your work should stop being based on random inspiration and start being based on a predictable, standardized workflow. This means creating templates for your proposals, contracts, checklists, and even your weekly report formats. This ensures your results don't fluctuate based on your mood. Most importantly, the moment a job is finished, ask for a testimonial. Potential clients care about one thing: can you deliver the result? The more evidence you have, the lower the barrier of trust becomes for the next person. Step 9 is to pick one single customer acquisition channel and dominate it. Many people fail because they try to be everywhere at once and end up being nowhere. If the market is proven, they will pay for your service. Your new job is to make sure the right people see you. Pick one platform, whether it is social media, email marketing, or paid ads, and output content with a relentless, year-round rhythm. You want to be the most visible and easily remembered person in your specific niche. Promotion always comes first in the daily schedule because, in business logic, you have to be seen before you can ever be sold. Step 10 is the transition into management. When you have more clients than you can handle, it is time to bring people in to do the heavy lifting. The rule is to outsource the 80% of repetitive tasks that don't require your specific judgment, so you can focus on the 20% that actually moves the needle, like closing deals and quality control. Don't hire a fancy executive team. Start with part-timers or freelancers who can support your existing model. Never hire someone if the math doesn't work. A new person should generate at least 3 times their cost and value. If you can't write down the exact steps and standards for a job, you aren't ready to hire for it yet. Remember, people are there to amplify a success, not to fix a failure. Step 11 is about productizing your service into a standardized menu with clear pricing. You need to build a structure that allows clients to book or buy from you with minimal friction. To avoid the trap of price wars, you need to establish a clear value difference. Follow 3 principles for pricing. Set a high-priced anchor to make other options look reasonable. Design tiered packages like standard and premium, and always have a top-tier option for those who want the best. As you raise your prices, tighten your focus on specific clients and offer stronger guarantees. Avoid the trap of over-customization. If it can't be repeated or handed to an employee, it is just a job, not a business. Keep your pricing transparent to avoid the headache of constant haggling. Step 12 is to treat your revenue like business oxygen, not personal fun money. Even on days when you feel zero motivation, you must stick to the plan because business is a daily discipline, not an emotional journey. Spend the first half of your day on sales and promotion, and the second half on delivery, never the other way around. If you only do the work and forget the sales, you are letting your emotions drive the bus. Set a daily minimum requirement for progress, whether it is sending cold emails or analyzing case studies. Most importantly, keep the money in the business. Cash left inside generates compound interest, while money spent on luxury items just evaporates. Step 13 is the pursuit of professionalization. Your money should now be viewed as fuel to make the business faster, better, and more stable. Invest in 4 key areas: automation tools to increase output, better hardware to improve quality, more human power to buy back your time, and targeted education to solve your biggest bottlenecks. In the beginning, you were selling your hustle. Now, you are selling reliability. When a client feels safe because of your professional contracts, branding, and standard procedures, they stop arguing about the price and start referring their friends. Reliability is the ultimate reason you can raise your prices without saying a word. Step 14 is to step back and look at the 5 dimensions of wealth: leverage, ownership, scalability, compound interest, and market trust. You need to analyze the top players in your industry and see how they are using these tools. Successful owners care about who has the dominant power over value, not just the numbers on a paycheck. By introducing things like subscription models or performance-based bonuses, you increase the overall value of your company. Once you understand the game at this level, the internal logic of the system will naturally push you toward higher levels of success. Finally, Step 15 is to double down on what works and ignore the shiny object syndrome. Business is a game of math, not an inspiration contest. You don't need a new idea every week. You need a production line that delivers predictable results. Most people who reach $1 million annual income did so by following these 15 steps with clinical precision. It takes 1 year to stabilize profit, 3 years to see a real shape, and 7 years before people call you an overnight success. The time will pass anyway. The only question is whether you are willing to start the process today. Real income jumps come from clear steps that push you higher, one level at a time. Thank you for watching. If these 15 steps spark something in you and you are ready to start building your 6-figure system, make sure to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like so we can keep bringing you the blueprints for growth. See you in the next one.